In this episode, we talk about a case of an alleged sexual assault of a second-year MBBS student in West Bengal. We also talk about Madhya Pradesh's Damoh district, where an AI-generated image and a viral video have sparked a controversy. But we begin today by talking about the Taliban foreign minister's first official visit to India. Hi, I am Niharika Nanda, and you are listening to Three Things, the Indian Express news show. Last Thursday, Taliban Foreign Minister Amir Muttaqi arrived in New Delhi for his first official visit to India. The visit, which will conclude on the 16th of October, marks a significant moment in India's foreign policy as it further normalizes diplomatic engagement with the Taliban, even though New Delhi has yet to officially recognize its rule in Afghanistan. Now, this ongoing visit hasn't been without controversy. During a press conference last week, Afghans based in Delhi protested against the Taliban hoisting their flag, and headlines were made when the delegation barred women journalists from attending the briefing. To discuss the significance of this visit and why India is engaging with the Taliban, my colleague Shashank Bhargava speaks to the Indian Express's diplomatic affairs editor Shubhajit Roy.
Shubhajit, talk about the situation New Delhi finds itself in, because we know that Taliban is a fundamentalist group. It has several regressive policies. Its treatment of women has been appalling. And India, of course, has had a very troubled history with the organization. So tell us, why has it chosen to engage with the Taliban, and how is it navigating this tricky situation?
So to kind of answer your question, we need to go back a few decades in history, about 3 decades back. So between 1996 and 2001, when the Taliban came to power in Afghanistan for the first time, India did not have any diplomatic relations back then with the Taliban. In fact, it didn't officially recognize them. They did not have a relationship. It broke off all relationship with Taliban. And towards the end of it, by end of 99, there was this Kandahar hijack, Indian Airlines IC-814 plane, which was hijacked and taken to, Kandahar at that point of time in Afghanistan.
Right, this was a flight carrying 190 people, and it was 5 men belonging to the Taliban that had hijacked that plane. And later, among other things, they had demanded the release of Maulana Masood Azhar, who is a designated global terrorist and who at the time was lodged in a jail in Jammu. And India, to save the people on board, had to agree to that demand. And that was a really big deal at the time.
Absolutely. Because, at the point in time, 3 terrorists were released in return of the hostages who were captured by the hijackers. And we know what happened after Masood Azhar was released and handed over to the hijackers. He went on to form this dreaded barbaric terrorist group called the Jaish-e-Mohammed, which conducted several terror attacks in India, including the parliament attack on Indian soil, and in the last few years as well, in the last decade or so also, it has sort of struck at Indian targets in Kashmir. So I think that bitter memory of dealing with the Taliban still haunts Indian government, Indian establishment, Indian policymakers.
Yeah, and despite this, we understand that the reason that India is engaging with the Taliban is because of Afghanistan's strategic importance and its proximity to Pakistan. So could you talk about that a bit, especially considering the ongoing tensions between the two countries?
Yeah, right now, Afghanistan and Pakistan are pretty hostile at each other. They are fighting amongst themselves. There are clashes at the border. We are also seeing unpredictable US under President Trump. We have also seen the Iran being weakened. So the global situation and the regional situation has changed. So in that sense, engaging with Afghanistan for India is very important because India wants to ensure the security situation in Afghanistan is not hostile to Indian interests. So, and Afghanistan and Muttaqi has repeatedly said that, there is security for Indian interests, for we never say anything against India. We are not hostile against India. So we want India to come and to do all the projects. So it's a sort of a pragmatic transactional relationship that India is entering with the Taliban.
And earlier, of course, India has supported the US's war on terror in Afghanistan and had also supported the post-Taliban republic there. But after the Taliban came back to power in 2021, the Indian diplomats, of course, came back. But since then, we understand that New Delhi has been engaging with it in a very sort of functional way. And later, India also set up a technical mission in Kabul with a few diplomats posted there. This was in 2022.
Yeah. So since then, India sort of also started giving humanitarian aid right after that, September, October 2021 onwards itself. And it continued. So over the last 4 years, there were several trips by Indian officials to Afghanistan. And the breakthrough really came in early this year, in January, when Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri he flew down to the UAE and met the Taliban Foreign Minister Amir Muttaqi in the UAE. And they, for the first time, that was the first high-level contact at a senior official level from the Indian side in a third country. And there they discussed issues like visas for Afghans, giving more humanitarian aid, helping them with their food situation and medicine situation, because there was scarcity of food, scarcity of medication, which India has been giving, about, it had, I think so far it's given about almost 50,000 metric tons of wheat. So that sort of changed the conversation. And in May this year, External Affairs Minister S. Shashank, he had a phone conversation with Mr. Muttaqi, who is the Taliban's foreign minister. And again, they spoke when a month or two back when there was this earthquake in Kunar in Afghanistan. So you see, there was a gradual progress, incremental progress, engagement with the Taliban. Finally, I think now, after almost more than 4 years since Taliban took power or in Kabul, they have now been given this sort of India as now ready, finds itself ready to engage politically with the Taliban.
Yeah, and although it is engaging with the Taliban politically, it has still not officially recognized the Taliban rule in Afghanistan. So could you talk about how this engagement is happening without that? For example, was Taliban able to hoist its flag during the official ceremonies?
So, firstly, Muttaqi has been on the UN Security Council's sanction list of terrorists, as top leaders of Taliban are still. And he has to take a special permission from the UNSC to travel outside Afghanistan. So this time he got the permission in September. There was sort of a lot of back and forth, August and September. And then finally he got it from 9th to 16th of October. And he first went to Moscow, where he attended the Moscow format of talks, where India was also present. Indian representative and diplomats were present. And then he came here to India. Now, as regarding the recognition, of course, India has not yet given its recognition. But what happened was, because he had a meeting with External Affairs Minister Jaishankar, so that was a challenge where, how do you navigate and negotiate this issue of flags when you haven't, recognized the country? And to give a context, so every time a visiting foreign minister meets the Indian foreign minister, flags of both the countries are kept in the backdrop. So they couldn't have had the Taliban flag, which is different from the Republic flag. It looks different. It's a white with an inscription on it. And whereas the Republic flag, which is of the ousted government led by President Ghani, that flag is a tricolor. So Indian government still allows the embassy here to hoist the old flag for the Republic's flag. So when Muttaqi came here in the official meeting, they did a compromise that, okay, both the flags, or the Indian flag or the Taliban flag, both were not there, to remove any sort of diplomatic challenge.
Right, but what happened when they met at the Afghan embassy? Was Muttaqi still not able to hoist the flag?
So the Afghan embassy is still controlled by people, officials, Afghans and diplomats aligned with and appointed by the previous government. So they still they still fly the old flag. So when he went there, the main flagpole still has the old flag, and there were flags on the lobby also of the embassy, which are of the old regime. But when he did the press conference earlier this week, he put a tabletop flag, a small flag in front of him. And on Sunday, when he did the press conference, he put the big flag behind him in the backdrop and a tabletop flag, a small flag in front of him. So essentially asserting the flag. And when he was asked, he said that this is the flag of our struggle, this is the flag of our jihad. So that's why we fly it. That's why we keep it. So he's completely unapologetic about the flag. And that's how he's sort of stressing his identity. And also you have to remember that after the talks with Jaishankar, one of the big outcomes was that the Indian government has decided to upgrade the status of the technical mission to an Indian embassy, and has also allowed the Taliban to send its diplomats to New Delhi. So far, that was not the case. That was not allowed by the Indian government. And because that's why the Afghan embassy in Delhi was run by people aligned by and appointed by the previous government. And most of them have left. Only few people are still around. So now basically it's a matter of time, matter of days and weeks before the Taliban appointed diplomat comes to India, comes to Delhi and takes charge of the Afghanistan embassy in New Delhi.
And Shubhajit, you mentioned the press conference. Now, the first one they did in New Delhi, there were a lot of issues. A number of Afghans posted in the capital. They were protesting. And more notably, no women journalists were allowed during this briefing. So tell us, what do we know about that and what did we see take place on the ground?
So, what happened was what I saw that there was sort of a struggle between the existing Afghan staffers and diplomats, the officials and visiting Taliban delegation about the flag that, both sides wanted to hoist their own flags. Essentially, the Taliban wanted to hoist their own flag, which was resisted by the local Afghan employees. So finally, there was sort of, as I said, the main flag still remains the old flag. But at the press conference, his aides, his officials, they put a small tabletop flag just in front of him just before the press conference. And that's how it happened. And the other notable sort of thing which created a lot of concern and outrage amongst journalists and Indians and Afghans of all hue, that the women journalists were excluded from that press conference. And I was part of that press conference, and it was absolutely astounding to see how the Taliban delegation decided to exclude. Essentially, they had the shield of the fact that because they were hosting it at the embassy, they could get away with their exclusionary behavior. But, there was a lot of protests, a lot of opposition politicians, as well as journalist bodies, as well as individual journalists. We also did stories and pieces and articles. And the Taliban foreign minister actually tried to course correct. And so on Sunday, he called a press conference at short notice. And he said that, last time when he was asked by journalists that why did women journalists were kept out while only men were brought in, he essentially said that, it was a technical error. It was done on a short notice. It was not our intention to exclude women journalists. And this time he took all the questions from the women journalists, including very sort of, important questions raised by women as well as men journalists in the room on women's rights in Afghanistan, on women's being denied being from education or, in offices or even going to parks or working in the UN. So he sort of tried to make the course correction by including the women journalists, although his answers were far from satisfactory for, when it came to women's rights and the situation of women in Afghanistan.
And you talked about the strategic significance of Afghanistan for India. And we know that Taliban, of course, wants more aid. India has committed to give food and medicines and ambulances. Taliban also wants to do business and trade with India. But, like we mentioned, Taliban is a fundamentalist organization. We know how citizens, especially women, are being treated in Afghanistan right now. They have been banned from higher education and work, out of public spaces. There are also restrictions on their travel without male escorts, and they can't even be heard singing or reading out loud from inside their homes. So, is there a fear that by engaging with them, you're actually legitimizing that regime?
Absolutely. That is the perception that will go out now, especially because, see, the women's rights and the minority rights in Afghanistan is far from satisfactory. It's really poor in all those accounts. And those have been India's biggest concerns, and it has always raised this. But now it is not talking about it. It is now looking at its own security interests. And it sees that because there's a wedge, there's a gap between Pakistan and Afghanistan, is trying to make the most of the situation by engaging with the Taliban and hoping that India's own security interests are paramount and are taken care of. And the Taliban, if they have stakes with India, it will not go hostile. It will not cooperate with Pakistan. It will not give shelter to terror groups in Afghanistan. It will not give shelter to terrorists in Pakistan-based terrorists who are hostile to India and anti-India terrorist groups on Afghanistan soil. So it is sort of looking at that as a pragmatic approach. But yes, you're right. There is a fear, there is an apprehension, there is a concern amongst many in Delhi that this may tantamount to an official recognition of the Taliban. So we'll see how that plays out, how India navigates. And so far, it has sort of tiptoed around the question. So we'll have to really wait and see how Indian government negotiates this space.
And next, we turn to West Bengal, where a second-year MBBS student from a private medical college in Paschim Bardhaman district was allegedly dragged into a nearby jungle behind the campus and sexually assaulted. Since the incident came to light, students have staged protests outside the principal's office, demanding justice and stronger safety measures on campus. This marks the third such case from Bengal to make national headlines in recent months, following the Arjikar Medical College and the Kolkata Law College rape cases. To understand what happened and what the investigation has revealed so far, we speak to the Indian Express's Tanushree Bose. Tanushree, tell us, what do we know about what happened on Friday night?
Well, what we are getting to know from the police is that late on Friday night, a second-year MBBS student who is from Orissa, she had gone out with her friend to get dinner. While they were returning from the backside of the hostel, and the outer campus is basically a jungle. And according to what the victim has stated in her statement to the police, apparently there were 3 to 4 men who were following them, and the area was secluded. It was dark. That is when one of them had grabbed her. Her male companion ran away, and the 3 accused, they dragged her inside the jungle and allegedly raped her, took away her mobile phone. Then her male companion had come back after some time, taken her back to the college campus. She had fallen ill, and then she was rushed to the hospital where she gave her statement and the police was called.
And Tanushree, what is the victim's condition right now? Is she stable? And has her family said anything about the incident yet?
The victim is stable right now, but she's very traumatized. She's unable to speak much. According to her family members, we had spoken to her father, and her father said that she's slightly stable, but she's unable to get up from the bed. She is bedridden. It would take some time to heal from the trauma, mentally and physically both. But he has stated that he would like to take his daughter back to Orissa, from where they hail, and he would like her to continue her studies from there. She had dreams, that is what her father said, to become a doctor, but certainly those dreams are marred over here, and he does not feel that his daughter is safe in West Bengal. He's also told Indian Express that he fears that she might be killed, which is why he would like to take her back to Odisha and not keep her any further in Durgapur.
Right. And has the investigation begun in the case, and have any arrests been made yet?
Well, yes, the investigation had begun the moment the police had got information of the alleged gang rape. Yesterday, entire night, the Durgapur Asansol Police Commissionerate, along with the local police, had conducted searches in the jungle and in the neighboring three villages which surround the campus, and three arrests have been made. And after interrogation, the arrests were made. The accused were produced in court today, and the police have been given 10 days remand. Also, I would like to say that the male companion of the victim, he has also been interrogated. The interrogation is still going on because the police are also looking into his role, whether he has any role to play. Why did he run away? Why did he not inform anyone that such an incident was happening? Why didn't he call people or raise an alarm? That is what they're looking into. And also a third accused has also been detained, and the questioning is going on.
And Tanushree, what all do we know about the accused right now?
Well, the accused, the three are Oppu Barui, who's age 21. The second accused who has been arrested is Firdoz Sheikh, who's aged 23. And the third accused is Sheikh Riazuddin, 32. And they are all from the neighboring village. That is what the police have stated till now. They are all locals of the area. And it is because of the mobile towers of the accused matching with that of the victim that the police were able to conduct raids in the villages. They had done a house-by-house raid to find out about the accused, to nab the accused, and that is how they were nabbed.
And has the medical college given any statement about the incident yet? Have they said anything?
Well, certainly they have given a statement yesterday. They have condemned the issue, and they've also stated that they are fully cooperating with the police. But also, the medical college has stated that since the incident has happened outside the college premises, they did not have any knowledge about the incident, but certainly they would be cooperating with the police.
And Tanushree, we understand that the students of the medical college had held a protest in front of the principal's office, and they were joined by some members of the opposition as well. So tell us, what were the protesters demanding?
The students of the private medical college, they had out the dean on Saturday. Once the incident had come to light, they have submitted a memorandum regarding demanding immediate action, accountability, and more security measures to be taken by the college administration. Now, they have put forth certain demands. One is to ensure justice for the survivor and to prevent such incidents in the future. Also, they want a transparent and immediate investigation. They've also called for security upgrades such as 24/7 surveillance with trained guards, improved lighting in the area, functional CCTV, and the installation of panic buttons across the campus. Also, the formation of joint safety committee with student representation. These are the demands that the students have made in their memorandum, which they've submitted to the dean on Saturday. Also, we've seen that the BJP and the Congress have held protests. They had gone to the hospital today to meet with the victim, but the hospital authorities and the police have not allowed BJP and the Congress representatives to meet with the victim or speak to the family. That is the allegation that the oppositions have been making. Also, we know that the Joint Doctors Forum and the Abhaya Mancha, which was formed after the Arjikar incident last year in August 2024, they had also gone to Durgapur to visit with the victim's family, but they have also alleged that they were not allowed to meet with the victim's family. They had also gone to the Deputy Commissioner East of Durgapur and Asansol Commissionerate's office. Over there, a 3-member representation was allowed, but over there also they alleged that the victim's father was not allowed to speak to them.
You mentioned the BJP and the Congress earlier. What are the kind of things that they have been saying about the case?
Well, certainly the opposition has attacked the ruling government regarding the safety and security of women in this state, because if you see, the opposition is saying that there are rape cases happening one after another. This year itself, the law college rape had happened, which was in South Kolkata. Arjikar incident has happened. So certainly the opposition is stating that Bengal is not safe for women, especially working women. That is what they're alleging. And they are asking that more security, with a woman chief minister, more security should be provided for women in this state.
And talking about that, how has the state government responded so far? especially considering that last time long discussions had taken place between the Arjikar doctors and the Mamata Banerjee government?
So certainly the state government has condemned the issue. We know that Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee herself has condemned the issue, and she has said that there is zero tolerance to such incidences. Strict action will be taken. And also, we know that 3 arrests have been made, which is within 36 hours of the incident. We also know that the West Bengal Principal Health Secretary Narayan Swarup Nigam has stated that the Director of Medical Education has asked for a detailed report from the college in this issue. So certainly the state government has looked into the matter. We've heard Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee on Sunday while she was leaving for the hills in North Bengal to look into the floods. She has given a statement. She has stated that it is also the responsibility of the private colleges to look into the safety and security of the students. She's also garnered a lot of criticism when she has stated that women should not go out at night. That is what she has stated. So that has got a lot of criticism, but certainly she has stated that there is zero tolerance to any such crimes against women in the state of West Bengal, and the strictest and stringent of actions would be taken against the accused.
And Tanushree, what does the Kolkata Doctors Forum have to say about this incident, since this is the second case reported at a medical college in West Bengal in the last 1 year?
Well, I have spoken to the junior doctors yesterday, and they said that it does not really matter whether the girl is an MBBS student, whether the girl is a doctor, a lawyer. It is that the crime against women are rising, and we know that recently Calcutta was given as the safest city by the NCRB data. But then the doctors question that, is it really safe? Is Bengal really safe? Because the crime against women is rising. Another such heinous crime has occurred. We have spoken to some common people, and they have said that, sometimes we seeing the current situation, it seems like is it a crime that we've committed by giving birth to a girl child, because there is no safety security in the state and in the city. So when comparisons are made, people are making comparison with other states like Maharashtra, other cities like Mumbai, where, girls walk late in the night, in the Marine Drive and all. But over here, parents are concerned about their daughter's security, certainly after this issue.
And Tanushree, talk about what comes next. What do the authorities have to say about what will happen going forward?
Well, certainly the investigation is going on. 3 arrests have been made. 2 people are still being interrogated. One is a male companion. The second is according to police sources, another accused in the case. Also, forensics have, gone to the spot. They have collected evidence. The victim's statement has been recorded by the police. Today, 3 of the accused have been sent to police custody for the next 10 days. So certainly the case is progressing. We had spoken to the DC of Asansol and Durgapur Police Commissioner Abhishek Gupta. He has also said that all protocols are being followed. 3 arrests have already been made. An investigation is going on in the case.
And in the end, we talk about the developments in Madhya Pradesh's Damoh district, where an AI-generated image and a viral video have sparked a major controversy. It began when Purushottam Kushwaha, a resident of Sataria village, posted an AI-generated image on Instagram showing a man wearing a garland of shoes. The man in that image was Anuj Pandey, who belongs to the Brahmin community and was accused of defying a local liquor ban. Kushwaha deleted the post within minutes and issued an apology, but anger had already spread through the local community. The Indian Express's Anand J. Mohan reports that soon after, a video emerged showing him washing Pandey's feet and saying, quote, "I am apologizing to the Brahmin community. Such a mistake will not happen again. We will keep worshipping the Brahmins like this." Unquote. The video, which later went viral, drew widespread criticism and prompted police action. Damoh Superintendent of Police Abhishek Tiwari said the incident is being treated as a case of caste-based humiliation. An FIR has been registered and preventative steps have been taken against both the parties. In fact, senior officials and prominent citizens have also been holding peace talks in the area. Pandey has since claimed that he and Kushwaha share a guru-shishya relationship and that Kushwaha washed his feet voluntarily. He said, quote, He apologized for the mistake he made. I apologize to the Kushwaha community if they feel hurt because he washed my feet. Unquote. Pandey also said that the matter was being politicized by the people of the OBC community. According to Anand Mohan's report, the chain of events began with Sataria village's collective decision to impose a liquor ban. Pandey was accused of selling alcohol despite the ban and was ordered by the panchayat to publicly apologize and pay a fine of Rs 2,100. It was in this context that Kushwaha created and posted the AI-generated image mocking Pandey. So what started as a local dispute over a liquor ban has since escalated into a caste and communal confrontation that has divided the village. You were listening to 3 Things by the Indian Express. Today's show was edited and mixed by Suresh Pawar and produced by Shashank, Bhargava and me, Niharika, Nanda. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone you think will like it. Share it with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can also tweet us at Express Audio and write to us at podcasts@indianexpress.com.